Guten Tag, this is Mr. Case, and we're talking today about 12.5b. We're finishing up on Southeast Asia and Korea. We saw the Straits of Malacca and the Sunda Strait being very important as far as water connectors between the Andaman Sea, Indian Ocean area, and the South China Sea. So you get from India to China via boat through the Straits of Malacca or the Sunda Strait. We saw Cambodian Empire that is on the mainland growing rice, having a Hindu temple at Angkor Wat. And today, 12.5b, we're going to be talking about the islands. And one of the main kingdoms we see on the island of Java is Sailendra, Sailendra. So you can put down, it's a Java island agricultural kingdom with temples. They're going to dominate trade along the islands. They're going to fall to the Srivijaya, who are going to tax island trade in the area. They fell to the Srivijaya, who were a ruling family, who taxed island trade in the area. That's how they made their money. The islands were very fertile as far as growing rice and tropical products, and so they taxed the trade that came through that area. As we go back to the mainland, we see Vietnam, about 100 years BC. They're going to fall under Chinese rule for about 1,000 years. They will be influenced by China, that's for sure, influenced by China, but they're going to be different from China in that the women of Vietnam had more freedom than the Chinese women did at that time. Chinese women were subservient to their men. The women in Vietnam experienced more freedom and independence. We see the great dynasty for Vietnam, the Le Dynasty, roughly 1,000 to 1200 AD. The capital was at Hanoi, 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 along the Red River Delta, and they planted rice, and they were a great agricultural kingdom. They fought off Mongol invasion 3 different times from the north. Can you imagine going down into this forested country of Vietnam and trying to take over and hold rule? Well, good luck with that. The Vietnamese were able to kick out Mongol invasion 3 different times. And this is in your textbook, but this is a picture of the Trung sisters, Trung. The Trung sisters on the back of elephants are putting the Chinese to flight. They are national heroes. I think that's pretty cool. We have George Washington and Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and these guys. Now the Vietnamese have the Trung sisters that rally Vietnamese forces to fight off the invading Chinese and Mongols. That's pretty cool. Korean dynasties. Again, what's a dynasty? A dynasty is a rule by a family, and it might be a couple hundred years, etc., etc. Korea is a peninsula that hangs off of China, so they're going to be influenced by the Chinese for sure. Distinct people with native ideas who borrowed from both China and Japan. They got the best of both cultures, China and Japan, because if you look at them, they're located between China and Japan. For Korea, the land is mountainous peninsula. It's a mountainous peninsula. Peninsula is a chunk of land with water on 3 sides, and they had a limited agricultural land. Since much of Korea is mountainous, it's difficult to grow a lot of crops, but it did yield enough to feed them. And they learned about central government from the Chinese, Confucianism, Buddhism, and Chinese type of writing. Buddhist monasteries were built to further that religion. The greatest of the Korean dynasties was the Koryu Dynasty, and that was about 935 AD all the way into the 1300s. They're going to establish a Confucian civil service based on China's. So there's cultural diffusion, the borrowing of the best of ideas. We did see the arts flourish during that time. In the Koryu Dynasty, we have a divided society. That means you're going to have rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. We don't see much social mobility. The Mongols did occupy Korea, Mongol occupation, and it was very harsh. They forced the Koreans to obey their will, and you can remember that it's from Korea that you do see an invasion force of Mongols go towards China, or towards Japan, in a failed attempt to take over Japan. Well, that's it for 12.5b. Have a good day, y'all.